friends, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, hello, my name is Ashley. Today we're going to be decluttering my foundation. So if you like declutters, if you like makeup, then definitely give this video a thumbs up if you enjoy it. Please consider subscribing to my channel. I would love to have you back. And without further ado, let's go ahead and declutter some foundation. Okay, so here are all my foundations. I keep them in this bin. Let's go ahead and count up how many we have, and then we'll go through and decide if we're keeping it or if we're getting rid of it. Foundations. Let's go ahead and start off with an easy one. Sorry, it's all dirty because I just used it this morning. I'm gonna have to move these out of the way though because my camera's having trouble focusing. So let me just clear out the area. Starting off easy, this is my NARS Light Reflecting Foundation. My current favorite go-to foundation. It comes with a pump, which is awesome. Oh my gosh, mine looks so disgusting right now. Sorry, I'm so sorry. I have mine in the shade Deauville, which, does that remind anyone else of Cruella Deauville? Every time I wear this, I'm like, ugh, feeling a little weird because I don't want to be the villain, but anyway, it's very thin and serum-y. It almost feels like a skincare product, and I believe it does have some skincare ingredients in it. But the thing that I love about this is that it wears a really long time, but it still has that light reflecting property without being dewy or greasy or heavy. I find that a lot of hydrating foundations can just feel really heavy on the skin because of maybe the oils or the moisturizing ingredients that they have. This one never feels heavy. It's super lightweight, super thin, but it does give you good medium coverage, medium to full coverage. So I just love it. Definitely gonna be keeping this. She is not going anywhere. Another favorite skincare-y, serum-y foundation is this one from Neutrogena. As you can see, or probably deduce from the amount of shades I have, I do love this product. This one is definitely way more sheer coverage than the NARS. The NARS is like the amped up big sister who gives more coverage and is more long wearing. This one's like the younger sister who just wants to even out her skin tone but wants to look super natural, like she's not even wearing makeup. And that's what I love about this. I love it for just every day because it's so easy and pretty undetectable on the skin. It does come with a dropper style applicator, which you'll either love or hate, but I find that it's not that cumbersome to use. This is not going to give you amazing coverage, but it is going to hydrate the skin without clogging your pores, and again, it's just going to look super natural. So I'm going to keep all three shades because I like to mix and match depending on where my tan is at the moment. Oops. And just for reference, this one is in the shade medium 01. This one is in light 01. And then this one right here is in light medium 02. A serum foundation that I wanted to love is this one from Revlon. This is the Illuminance Skin Caring Foundation with 5% squalane and hyaluronic acid. It sounds super promising, and I believe Revlon released this year. So I was really excited to try it. I heard really great things. Some people were saying it's a dupe for the Makeup by Mario foundation, yada yada yada. I don't hate this, but I just don't find it to be the most long wearing foundation. It's like the longer you wear it, it looks worse and worse on the skin, at least on my skin. If you have larger pores, lines, anything like that, this is going to emphasize them like crazy, especially as the day goes on. So it's just not the best. I feel like there are better hydrating foundations out there. This one just doesn't wear well on the skin. And again, I feel like my skin looks better without it. It just kind of emphasizes all my pores and makes me look older than I am. So I'm not a fan. I have heard people that like this, so take what I'm saying with a grain of salt. It has that serum-y texture, but it does feel a little bit thicker and more, not oily, but you can tell that it has some moisturizing ingredients in there. You can kind of feel that squalane. So this was a great idea by Revlon. I just don't think it was executed properly. So I'm gonna declutter this one. One from the drugstore that I love is the NYX Bare With Me Blur Tint. I believe this launched this year or late last year, but I'm pretty sure it was early this year. And I love this. I feel like this is a polarizing product because it is very matte and it gives a lot of coverage. So a blur tint might kind of make you feel like it's gonna be more serum-y, more light coverage, more lightweight on the skin. This is very high medium to full coverage, and it's really matte. So if you don't like matte matte foundations, and if you don't like a lot of coverage, you're not gonna like this. But the reason why I love this so much is because even though it does have that matte finish and it is very high coverage, it is super, super lightweight on the skin. It literally feels like you're not wearing anything. So I understand why they named it a foundation tint, because it has all of the benefits of a foundation while also being the same lightweightiness if that even is a word, of a tinted moisturizer. So I feel like it's kind of the best of both worlds. Gives you that amazing coverage, like you can see, such amazing coverage. It does dry down, so it's very long wearing, but even on my dry skin, as long as I moisturize properly, it's not drying. If you have active dry patches or eczema or anything like that, this might not be the one for you. But for me personally, who has normal to moderately mild dryness, as long as I moisturize adequately, it works really well for me. So I have two shades, Vanilla and Fair. Both of them are a little bit light for me at the moment, but I am gonna keep both just for winter shades, for, you know, my tan fading and all of that stuff. And I like how slim the packaging is. It's super light because of the plastic, but I also really like this purpley cap. I don't know, it's just super cute. So side note, if you're a sucker for packaging like me, this packaging is adorable. And I'm gonna keep both. All right, I'm gonna talk about these two in the same breath because I actually feel like these are very, very, very good dupes for one another. The Estee Lauder Double Wear Stay in Place makeup is like a cult classic. This is one of the most long wearing foundations in my collection. This will not budge. If you need your makeup to stay in place and not crease, separate, anything like that, this is your girl. I don't love the packaging because it doesn't come with a pump, which is unfortunate. There's something about it that just feels very dated, I would say. I mean, don't get me wrong, the bottle is very pretty. It's a frosted glass bottle. It's very weighty. It feels luxurious. It just kind of reminds me of my grandma or something. Aside from that though, I do feel like this is a really great formula. I have, like I said, more dry, dehydrated skin, and I was very hesitant and wary to try this because it's a matte full coverage shebang, but this does not look drying or feel drying on my skin. It's super, super thin and watery, so it kind of just like dries down instantly, and because of that thin texture, it doesn't look cakey or feel heavy on the skin. I mean, look at that. You get amazing coverage with this. You don't need as much as I poured out, but this, it just spreads so easily, it stays put, and it doesn't dry my skin out. So definitely gonna keep this, but if you're a babe on a budget, I feel like this HD Liquid Coverage Foundation from Catrice, no one talks about this anymore, but this baby is so similar to the Estee Lauder. Super thin, super lightweight on the skin, dries down pretty quickly to that matte finish that is gonna wear really, really, really long. Like, look how thin it's running down my hand, but this baby gives you some coverage. I'm thinking about doing a dupes video in the future, and these two are definitely going to be the foundations that I use because honestly, I feel like they're literally the same thing. I'm gonna go ahead and declutter this CC Nude Glow from IT Cosmetics. I'm a big fan of IT Cosmetics. I love their color corrector in the pot. The original CC cream is pretty good, but this one just broke me out, unfortunately, and it has a very, very strong fragrance. If fragrance doesn't bother you and chemical sunscreens don't bother you, then I think you'll be fine. But for me, it just breaks me out and irritates my skin. This is a very, 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 very hydrating tinted moisturizer CC cream. If you have oily skin, I wouldn't recommend this. And if you're looking for medium full coverage, I wouldn't recommend this. This is like a tinted moisturizer with a heck of a lot of moisture, almost on the verge of like greasy feeling. You don't want to apply too much or else it can feel heavy on the skin, even though it is very serum-y and sheer coverage. So yeah, if you want something that is super, super moisturizing, that doesn't give a lot of coverage, and you're fine with fragrance and chemical sunscreen, you might really like this because it is very dewy on the skin. But for me, it just didn't really work that well. So I'm gonna go ahead and pass it along, and hopefully someone else can get better use out of her. I have two of these Maybelline Perfector 4-in-1 Whipped Matte Makeup. This is such an interesting product. It claims to be like a primer, foundation, powder, all in one. What else? Oh, BB cream. I actually did a video where I tested all of those claims. This is like the Benefit Professional with a tint, with a little bit of coverage. It's very, very silicone-y. It is gonna blur your pores, so it can work as a primer. I don't think it works at all as a concealer, in my opinion. The powder claim is a little dubious. I feel like you can definitely get away without setting this, but I wouldn't use it over top of other makeup as a powder. And a BB cream, sure. It's gonna give you very sheer to light coverage. Basically, it doesn't really give much coverage at all. It just sort of evens out your skin tone. Let me just say this. I feel like a lot of people don't like this product, and I understand why. It can emphasize texture on the skin because it's very, very matte. But I like it for when my face is a lot lighter than my body and I need to even out my skin tone. This, if you apply just a tiny little bit, works really well at correcting your skin tone, giving you a little bit of a color without looking like you have makeup on, and it also blurs your pores, which I really like. That's one of my things that I look for in makeup. I like to blur my pores in the center of my face. So I like this. I don't think it's gonna be for everyone, but I think it has a place in my collection. I like it for more of an everyday look. I wouldn't use it for something super glam. Again, I wouldn't apply too much either, or else it's gonna look very odd on the skin, and other products are kind of gonna slip and slide around on top of it because it's so silicone-y. But I have 2 shades and I am gonna get rid of one. I'm gonna get rid of 02 Light Medium just because it's very, very orangey almost, and I've had this one the longest. Yeah, it's a little bit too orangey, as you can see. So I'm gonna get rid of this one. But I'm gonna keep the shade 01 Light. Like, you can see when it comes out, this is like whipped. You can see. It's very whipped. But it does blend in and get more creamy. This one's a little bit light for me now. It's not bad, but I'm going to save it for the fall and the winter. Maybe the summer with some bronzer, but yeah, this shade works better for me. It's way more neutral. Next up, I have this Cica Clearing BB Cream from Purito. This is a Korean K-beauty sort of skincare slash makeup brand, I guess. Mostly skincare. I've heard a lot of really great things about this product. I know Taylor Wynn here on YouTube really likes it. It's fine, but it's just a little bit too heavy for my liking. I have mine in the shade 13 Ivory, by the way, and the shade range is not great on this. It's not super expensive. I think it was around $10 or so, but it just feels a little thicker on the skin, and it just looks a little bit thicker on the skin. A little too thick for my liking. It has really great coverage for a BB cream. So I think if you have severely dry skin and you want some good coverage and you don't care if it feels like you have makeup on, you might really like this. But for me, I just find that it settles into my lines a little bit too much, and there's just other things in my collection that I like more. I don't think it's bad, but I don't think it's great. So I'm gonna pass it along, and hopefully it can find someone who will enjoy it a bit more. I feel like my taste in foundations, BB creams, is sort of controversial. I feel like a lot of stuff that I like, other people might not necessarily like. This one was, again, a very polarizing product. I feel like a lot of people either love it or hate it. Some people said it did a weird thing where it sort of balled up on their skin. I've never had that experience. And other people were complaining about the smell. The smell doesn't personally bother me, but just something to keep in mind. For me, this is a really nice, everyday, quick and easy, throw it on the skin, rub it in with your fingertips, sort of lightweight, light coverage foundation. It's not the most long wearing, I will say that. If you're gonna be out for 8+ hours, I wouldn't recommend this. But just for everyday, around the house, running errands, it's perfect. It wears really well. It's hydrating without being heavy or greasy feeling. It doesn't clog my pores, doesn't break me out. And it just looks really nice and healthy on the skin. So this can give you, I would say, light to light medium coverage. I wouldn't build it up past that, or else it will start to look a little bit heavy. But I'm gonna keep it because, again, it's just one of my favorite things to wear on a daily basis. The bareminerals Complexion Rescue Tinted Hydrating Gel Cream. The name pretty much gets it spot on. Like, it's almost, this one actually is almost empty. I've used a lot of it. I don't even know if there's any in here, to be honest. Do I even have any in here? The tiniest little bit. So I pretty much use this up fully, and it's a bit light for me at the moment, and it is pretty old. This one, you can feel that gel texture as you blend it in, and when you first start to blend it in on the skin, it almost feels like it's not going to sink into the skin. It almost looks like it's gonna sit on top, but the more that you really work it in, it just melts into your skin and looks so dewy, again, without feeling heavy or greasy. That's what I look for with more hydrating products. I like something a little bit more lightweight and gel-like this. I love the texture of this. It's just perfect for every day, gives you sun protection, it doesn't break you out. It's a mineral sunscreen, so I've never had any issues with it. Because it's so old and practically empty, I am going to toss it, but I definitely would consider repurchasing in the future because it's one of my top favorite products of all time. This is the newest foundation to my collection. It's the No. 7 Lift and Illuminate Triple Action Serum Foundation. The packaging is really luxe. It's heavy, it's a glass bottle, really nice. This, you can see, very thin. It does have that serum texture. It feels hydrating, again, without feeling greasy. And I've been reaching for it a lot because of the shade, honestly. But I have enjoyed the way that my skin has looked when I wear it. It's nice. I wouldn't say it's an all-time favorite. I do find it sinking into lines a little bit, but I have to keep testing it. Again, I've only been wearing it recently because my skin has been so tan, so I need more time with it, but so far so good. I do enjoy it, and I think it's promising, so I'm gonna keep it for now. Another easy keep is my Veil Sunset Skin Foundation. This is a brand that is sort of under the radar. No one really talks about it. I heard about this product from Alexa Blake here on YouTube. She was raving about this, and I can see why. This is one of the most skin-like, undetectable foundations you will ever try, as long as you don't use too much. One pump is all you need, and it's going to give you good medium coverage, light medium coverage, and it wears really well. This, literally, like I said, is super undetectable on the skin. It does give you more of a natural satin matte finish, and it is a little thicker, but it's not drying at all. It's very creamy and hydrating, again, without greasy or oiliness. So wonderful, so beautiful. I wish more people would talk about it because it's a lovely product. I actually used this on my mom one day when I was doing her makeup, and I just kept looking at her skin and was like, oh my goodness, you need to get this foundation because it looks amazing on you. Your skin looks fabulous. So I feel like it'll just work for a lot of different people because it's sort of that middle of the road product. And if you don't like looking like you have makeup on, I mean, who really wants to look like they have makeup on? This is the product, this is the foundation for you. Oh, and the packaging's super interesting. It has like this little twist cap, which is fun. Last but not least, we have the good old MAC Studio Radiance Face and Body. I never tried the original Face and Body. I think this was like a semi-reformulation, so I don't have anything to compare it to. I like this product though. I know it kind of got mixed reviews because a lot of people were saying it's different than the original. It's very, very watery, so I like to shake it up. And the trick with this one is to get the most coverage, you want to rub it between your fingertips just to sort of activate it. I don't know, that's the best word I can think of. It thickens it up, and you can start to feel it thickening up as you're rubbing it. And then I like to press it into my skin on my face, and that is, I find, the best way to apply. I like this. Again, I think it's very, very undetectable on the skin. This is going to give you sheer coverage. It's more of a skin tint, sheer to light coverage maybe. Can't build it up too much, but for every day, for more natural makeup, I really enjoy it because it's so watery, so lightweight, doesn't emphasize pores, doesn't sink into lines. It almost looks like you're not even wearing anything on the skin, but it has a little bit less coverage than something like the Veil. This one feels like you're wearing nothing, but it's way thicker and a little bit more coverage, if that makes sense. This is like a literal skin tint, like a water tint basically, but it is going to even out your skin tone. And I find that it doesn't break apart weird throughout the day. It does last a long time for being a skin tint. This also dries down, which is nice. So the finish of this is really going to depend on how you prep your skin. If you go in with something super, super dewy, super glowy, the finish of this is going to be more super dewy, super glowy. Whereas if you go with something more mattifying, the finish is going to reflect that matte primer. The finish of this really reflects the prep that you put into your skin, which is nice. So I feel like it's very adaptable depending on what look you're going for or depending on the skin type. So I love this product, and I'm going to keep it a bit longer because I really enjoy it. And I have the shade C1 for reference. Okay, so I am getting rid of 5 foundations, And the only one that I'm really going to throw away is this one, just because it's super old and practically empty. The other ones of these I will try to pass along to friends and family so they will not go to waste. So I'm going to declutter these 5. And I also wanted to say that because I feel like these are such close dupes, in the future, once I run out of this, I will not repurchase because I can just purchase this one. And on second thought, I'm looking at these again, and I feel like because this one is more pinky, the undertone is much more pink, I feel like I'd be good with just keeping 2 of these, light one and medium one, because although this one's a little bit light for me, and this one's a little bit deep and orangey, the mixture of the 2 I feel will give me my perfect shade, whereas this one is just always a little bit too pink toned. So I'm going to pass this one along and I'll just keep the 2. So I'm going to declutter 6. Okay, so these are all the foundations that I'm going to be keeping. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Keeping 12, getting rid of 6. So a third of my original collection was decluttered. I'm pretty happy about that. Looking at all these products, I feel pretty good about every single one of them. I would feel comfortable reaching for these on a daily basis. So yeah, I'm pretty happy. Let's go ahead and put them back in my little bin. So there we go. I feel like that's a pretty reasonable size foundation collection. And again, these are the products that I'm going to be decluttering. Not bad. So yeah guys, those are all of the foundations that I'm going to be decluttering. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Don't forget to subscribe if you want to see more sections, more categories. I'm going to be going through them all. So don't want to miss out. Definitely make sure you subscribe. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. It really helps me out. I really appreciate each and every one of you, especially if you made it to the end of this video. I love you guys so much. I will catch you all in my next video.